of iRacing's IVRL and the AOLL. Now here's your host, the Ghostfire Media Network crew.
Hey guys, welcome tonight to Ghostfire Media, the podcast. I'll be your host tonight, Larry Patrick, alongside
Adam Wood,
Carl Henderson,
Josh Laston.
And we will be without Randy Pepper tonight. He is unfortunately at a gig, so we don't get to see that sweet-looking hair. And Nick Adams is going to be a little late, so it's just going to be us four here at the beginning. Sorry, kind of dipped on you guys last week, so I'm going to make it up to you guys tonight. But
you took a nap.
Yeah.
And you really just didn't wake up.
I was on 2 hours. I was on 2 hours of sleep. Okay, hear me out. I was on 2 hours of sleep. And I had a couple of drinks, all right? So I was not waking up for nobody at that point.
You took a dad nap and just admit it.
But
so a long dad nap.
Hey, so we're going to get kicked off here tonight. So special guest here tonight, we are looking at Charles Urick from the IVRL. We're going to get to know Charles and talk to him a little bit about the league and everything that's been going on. And then we're going to have in DW Wright, David Wright, which I'm pretty excited about, a guy that's been up and coming, growing a little bit there in the AOLL TNT series. And then we're going to bring in John Gordon, and we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk to him TNT. We're going to talk to him Cup. We're going to talk to him Trucks. So it should be a good show tonight, right, guys?
Yeah, just as long as we need to make sure he understands that we're really pushing to make sure that Nick becomes the new flipper of the AOLL.
Well, Nick did flip this last week, but we'll talk about that more. So, hey,
he came real close.
Hey, we're going to cut it for about a quick 2 seconds. We're going to listen to, I'd say our buddy, but he's not our buddy. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He could be my buddy if he wanted to hang out, but he hangs out with Randy. So we're going to pop it over to Pat Patterson real quick. Well, let's hear from Pat Patterson.
Hi, it's Pat Patterson, the racing guy. You're listening to the Ghostfire Media Podcast.
It's time for the
We're
Ghostfire
back.
Media
Now
Network
we're going to bring in our first guest,
featuring the
Mr.
stars
Charles
of
Urick.
iRacing's
Charles, man, how you
IVRL
doing?
and the AOLL. Now here's your host, the
ready.
Ghostfire Media Network
He
crew.
wasn't ready. Somebody should probably popped over and said, hey, man. Well, Charles. Yeah. Radio check. 1, 2.
Oh.
Bueller.
Check. 1, 2.
Well, hey, Adam, send him a message. See what's up. Well, we got a hot second. Let's talk a little bit about the IVRL. All right. Excuse me. Tuesday nights, IVRL. Paid league, very competitive, running 60% races, correct? What'd you say, Adam?
Correct. Yeah, he's getting. We're doing 60% races there. It's ridiculously long. We did 250 laps at Dover this Tuesday night, and it was actually a very clean race. There was only, I think, 2 cautions outside of the actual stages, so which was really nice.
Okay. And what were you saying about Charles?
Charles, he's having reconnecting issues. He was going to be right back.
Okay, too easy. We'll kill that time. All right, so yeah,
We're really good at that.
Yes, we are becoming masters at killing time.
Unfortunately, Carl and Larry got the short end of the straw this week in broadcasting.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So we haven't got the updated points for the IVRL.
He's good now.
Oh, perfect. Let's bring him in then. Hey, Charles, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you now.
Hey, perfect, man. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Not bad.
Awesome. Well, real quick, just like everybody else, first time to the show, give us a little bit about you, man. Tell us a number, what what league you run, and what type of car do you run?
Number 76 in the IVRL Butt Kicker Cup Series, Ford Mustang.
Ford
Who's your sponsors out there?
First off, I gotta throw this out there. What happened to the 24?
Well, I didn't think Fallout 76 would be right with a number 24, so I just decided to choose number 76.
That hurts. That hurts.
But this is my buddy Charles. He is my unofficial teammate in the IBRL. Me and him are the only two that hang out in the general chat, and that's kind of what me and Charles have been doing, trying to learn from each other.
Sorry, I was actually reading the comments. Hey, so as I was saying just a minute ago, so we don't have updated points from IVRL. We actually had the points from Darlington. After Darlington, Charles, man, you got 3 spots. You're sitting tied for 10th. And correct me if I'm wrong. That's Chase standing right now.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it is.
Yeah, but after this past week, you finished what? 2 behind me, 1 behind me because of that damage.
I think I finished 9th.
You didn't finish ahead of me. I think you finished behind me, bud. Yeah.
Dun, dun,
I think you were 4. You were 4 laps down, and I was only 2 laps down. So I think you had to finish.
I made those up, didn't I?
No, I think you didn't. I think you finished like 11th or 12th. I can go pull up the race results.
Maybe I'm thinking about a different league run. I've ran Dover like 4 times already.
Yeah, I got to run it again on Sunday night. I'm trying to figure out how to make that long run work.
Oh, is that where we're at Sunday night? Well, we'll talk about that later. So I got to know, man, like I said, you right now sitting top 10 in points, at least that we can see at Darlington. If Cody McKinney, you're listening out there, points. Cody, points. We need points. Actually, your guys would probably like points, honestly. How do you feel you're doing this season, man? 10th, obviously respectable, especially in a league as challenging as IBRL with no fast repairs or anything like that, and it's such a long race, man. How you feel like you're doing?
This, I don't know, last couple months have been great. Start of the season wasn't great, getting in a lot of wrecks and stuff, but I've just been trying to pace myself, slow down. I mean, racing hard for 6th and 5th on lap 10 is not the way to do it.
Or you can tell people to just slow down and you hit them.
Well, yeah, I could do that.
Well, I guess that, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, in my personal opinion, I mean, I think if you're sitting top 10 right now in points, period, in this particular league, no fast repairs, 60% races, it says something about your driving ability and at least being able to stay out of other people's issues.
Yeah, try to stay out of other people's issues.
Yeah, Charles, last week we were running Darlington, and Charles was running up front all night long. And then, I was struggling in the back for the most part. I finally figured out the run near the end, but Charles was running on top 5 for most of the entire night. And then I got hit with a late caution and messed up my pit strategy, but Charles was able to overcome that. And he was running down, was it Greg there for 2nd last week?
Yeah. Well, I was in 2nd. I was chasing him down, but I used up my tires. I couldn't catch him anymore.
Yeah, you had a strong run this past week, though, man. You just lap, 1, maybe 2?
Yeah, lap 1, turn 3.
Yeah, you just were wrong place at the wrong time. I went high, you went low, and somehow everybody magically left in front of me and cleared the way, and I was able to gain, I think, 4 spots there while everybody got collected there in turn 3 and 4.
Well, see, I was following Cody, and that's never a good thing to do.
No.
Well, hey, real quick, Nick just joined in. Nick, man, how you doing tonight?
I am good, gents. How are you?
We're living. Just sitting here talking to Charles. Nick actually calls the races on Tuesday night. So, Nick, man, what'd you see Tuesday night from the race perspective? When it comes to Charles?
From Charles, I saw one of his most consistent battles back from getting involved in stupidity. And there wasn't much. Dover kind of is a really rough track to drive. If you don't get the correct entrance into 3 and 4, and you don't get off the bump in 4 correctly, you're just spinning around. I mean, I ran the practice with the AOLL boys last night, and I saw Justin Anderson, who's probably one of the best people that I know races, just continuously looping it out of 4. So
last night's practice was slicker than Tuesday night. So Tuesday night we were able to basically power it out of turn 2 and 4 all night long without really an issue. Last night, yeah, it was a whole different animal. I was spinning trying to do hot laps left and right. It was frustrating compared to Tuesday night.
So then I'm really glad the track was set up the way it was set up on Tuesday then, because
Yes.
we got one of the best
Yes.
races that we've ever seen in the IVRL since we started broadcasting it. It's right up there with the 2 super speedways we've done this year on action. And Charles, you were involved in some of that action early on in the race. So how did you battle back from that? I don't know. Did you guys touch on that?
No. Just getting to know Charles a little bit here, so that's perfect. Thank you.
Well, it was just holding on for dear life. Like, I got that damage early, lap 1, right? So I'm down, what would we say, Adam, like 40 horsepower?
Yeah, you were down pretty much a lot. You suffered down the straightaways.
Yeah. Like on restarts with everybody on fresh tires, I couldn't keep up. But, as long run would happen, I could catch people, but I was 4 laps down, so. But I wanted to just quit, but I figured more people would drop out, which they did. So I'm glad I didn't quit.
Yeah, man, you hung on there. I looked it up. You finished right behind me. I finished 10th, and you finished 11th. And it sucked for me. I had a phenomenal night. Like, I started 18th, and after that first caution, I was able to pick up 4 spots, and then I started I think 6 spots, because I think I restarted like 12th or 14th, one of the 2. And I just started cruising through the field and made it up to the top 5 for the first stage. I started dropping back, though. I didn't have the long run car like everybody else did up there in the top 5. Usually I have the long run car, and short run speed I sucked. On Tuesday night, it was the complete opposite. I was hanging in there with everybody for the first 10, 15 laps, and after that, everybody started driving away from me.
Feel like that's a normal thing from you there, Adam.
It's different, though. Usually I can reel them back in, and they drove away.
Adam has a win this year.
I was going to say, at least Adam didn't finish 3rd once.
Hold on. See, I was about to run
He
to the
had to leave because of that.
Well, I was about to use the bathroom, and I just got attacked. I had to stop and come back.
I want you to pee your pants, sir.
Yeah, I might from laughing, but you know what? Hey, first off, that was Talladega. Talladega is the ultimate equalizer. But good on you, sir. I ain't going to talk shit about you.
I wouldn't really call it an equalizer. I would say
Not with this new-
if we go back to that,
Not with
if we
this
go
new-
back to that race,
Not this
Adam.
Not
was
this plate
by
race,
far.
though. Not maybe.
Oh
with
yeah,
the,
no, the new package.
Yeah,
is
no, the
terrible.
new package. New package, you have to be strategic on the way you do everything. The old package, you had to actually, you can make runs, and you can actually be lucky to be in front of that run to do it.
Now, wait a minute, Adam. We were the only 2 that could pass anybody on the outside.
Yeah, I got help from a lot of people behind me that pushed me to the front, and I appreciate it. But then I felt like I was a sitting duck sitting out front of everybody, though, because I was wasting my gas, and I just barely had enough gas to finish the race. I was really happy that Greg was able to get in front of me.
I ran out with 2 to go.
Yeah, we definitely saw something totally different at Dega than we did at Daytona, and that that was definitely fun. We'll be able to see that at iRacing Super Speedway later on this season.
I will be
But,
missing that race, sadly.
You'll be missing the iRacing.
Yeah, I'm
Super Speedway
flying
race?
back in about 3 or 4 weeks now to North Carolina. So after the first race of the month, I will be going home. I'll miss iRacing Super Speedway, and I should be back before the next race.
He ain't going to miss it. He can come over to the house and run it over at my house. He's got a whole setup and everything. He can run it right here.
Oh yeah, you do have
That would mean he has to hang out with you, though.
We actually get along. We get along.
Nobody wants to do that.
We get along. Now, me and Nick, on the other hand, me and Adam get along, right? We work.
Really,
I
me
wanna
and you
test
would
out that
be
CSW.
drunk for 3 or 4 days. There would be no worries.
That is true.
We'd just
Hakuna
be
Matata.
drunk. It would be fun.
Hakuna Matata.
Hey, it would be fun.
But hey, seriously though. So real quick, I gotta know, Charles, what is your greatest strength in racing? Are you a short track guy? Are you a super speedway, mile and a half? Are you a road course guy?
definitely not road course guy.
So you're
this
not.
week's gonna be rough.
So you're not looking forward to Coda.
Don't worry. Those questions are coming.
But I mean, at the road course at Daytona, I got wiped out 3 times in one lap. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would hold a grudge to that. But going back to the question, try not to sneeze. Sorry, try not to sneeze. What do you find to be your greatest strength? I mean, you may not say that you're a ringer per se, but just you feel most comfortable at.
probably 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I really like the new 1.5 mile tracks after the dynamic package they put in there. It's made them more enjoyable. I liked them prior, but to be able to run multiple different lanes, like there's used to be just bottom feeder tracks, and now you're able to actually run multiple grooves, and it makes it actually worthwhile racing there.
Kansas was awesome. I really enjoyed running Kansas.
Yeah, and go to the next gen car. Kansas is even more of a blast.
First off, I personally can't wait for this next gen car. How many of you guys actually drove it so far?
I think most of us here.
I think everybody in here has.
Except you, because you fell
Because you were
asleep and
asleep.
took a dad nap.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I didn't drive it.
Well, was it a dad nap or was it I drank too much nap before?
No,
the
I was.
podcast?
First off, I was running on 2 hours of sleep, and I had a couple of beers, and then I just laid on the couch. I actually told my wife, I'm going to take a quick nap before the podcast, and she tried to wake me up, and I never woke up.
So last Friday night we did the Cup race at Kansas, and by itself the car is basically Talladega. You can just flat foot it around, but in traffic, oh man, it's a whole different animal. You had to drive it. You actually could get runs on people and didn't stall out. You actually had to lift and brake before running into the person in front of you. So that's what I loved about it, is that you didn't get that air bubble stalling out. You were able to continue on. If you had that run, they weren't stalling you. You can just blow by them.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that car will be making its debut next season, though, for most of the leagues, just based on the lack of information it has.
Oh, I think they have. I mean, most of them will probably launch it next February to follow the next year's Cup.
Yeah.
They have 8 months. They have like 6 to 7 months to refine that car.
Yeah, I mean,
and to
absolutely.
get an updated setup.
Those cars are going to go through some major changes every single week, though, next season.
Facts.
Just based on when they go, the first time they go to the road course, I think it's going to change the entire way that car drives.
Well, I think that's only if the
around,
pro
like across the board.
That's only if the Pro Invitational shows up. That's the only time they make huge changes. Nobody made anything for Dover this week, but they did for
Charles,
Darlington.
Now, did you say you've driven them before?
Yeah, I drove one.
How do you feel about them?
Well, I ran a Kansas race, just a little fun race, and I messed with the current Cup cars. I'm used to messing with the front brake bias, and that's what I was looking for. But then I realized it was front master cylinder and rear master cylinder, and I messed with the front, and I pushed on the brake, and it turned dead right to the wall. I would, what is that?
Hey, I just want to point out, Harvey just said that you're full of. We're gonna try to keep this PG-13. You're full of crap. All right, but he said the adult word.
All right, Harvey. Let's see.
So I gotta know, man. What is your outlook right now towards Coda? Like, are you excited about it? It's something different, or are you kind of dreading this race?
I'm kind of dreading it because I'm testing it right now, and I haven't made a lap. I made one lap earlier, but that's about it.
Okay.
So let me give you a small tip. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
I feel like all you can give. Never mind.
Hey, Larry, shut up.
Sorry.
In about 5 years, your head's gonna look like mine, even though I'm younger than you. So I don't want to hear your shit.
Actually, false.
Oh,
Had
Propecia. I forgot about his Propecia. Let me give you a tip though, Charles. Those sweeping corners, you cannot even barely touch the throttle in those corners. Whatever you go into the corner with as the throttle is what you can go through the entire corner with. you have to make sure that these cars at Coda are almost damn straight before you actually put your foot to the floor or anywhere near the loud pedal.
That's cup cars in general at road courses. I mean, they have so much low end torque that it just destroys you if you get on it too hard. This is when
normally you can save that though by shifting, but at Coda it's just the way that track is.
I wish I had the HE Sprints pedals. They have the throttle shaping aspect of it, so I can tune it not to destroy it
Wait,
easy.
what?
Yeah, I don't know how to say the H word. It's the
Huxfeld or whatever ones?
Those Sprint pedals. Yeah, the software that you have, you can go in and create curves for the actual throttle and brake pedals.
Wow, I thought my pedals were advanced and they're cheaper than everybody else's. I was like, oh, I got a good pair of pedals. And nope. I can't do any of that.
Yeah, my biggest issue right now testing is brakes. I'm always locking up either the left front or right front.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. I mean, there's a lot of different weird shaped corners there, and where you have to almost come to a complete stop. It feels like that's kind of, it's not fast paced sweeping corners. It's really low speed and annoying stuff where you're heavy on the brakes. So I'm not looking forward to it all. Me and Harvey are going to run where we did last year in the IVRL for road courses right in the back, just hanging out with each other. So that's my plan.
Yeah, I feel like there'll be a lot of running people over.
You're muted.
I just realized that. Muted for my wife. So I would never say that I was, some kind of road course specialist or anything like that. I'm okay. But the big thing is, well, first off, both of you, if I didn't get run over by Andrew Burgess, who I got the nickname The Sausage from, I would have had a lot better Daytona. If there was
anything... Are you sure you didn't get the nickname The Sausage from running over the sausage curbs too much?
100% positive. So if there were one thing, man, you just got to be slow and consistent. Everybody's going to make their mistakes, right? It was talked about earlier. The power is so sensitive with that low end torque. People get on it just a little bit too hard, and the car just comes around on them, and it costs them a lot of time.
Yeah, it's going to be a delicate race next week to not put your car in a bad position and be able to get through all these corners. I haven't run too many laps there. I'm like Charles, it's a pain, so I'm just going to take it easy. Probably do a crap qualifying on purpose to go in the back so I can learn the track as I go.
Why don't you just learn the track in your own time?
There you go. Charles, are you a Formula One fan by any chance? Or an IndyCar fan? No? If you get a chance at all this weekend, just watch, not for the speed aspect, but to learn the track, watch the 2019 IndyCar broadcast at that track. They actually did a pretty good job of explaining how the track is supposed to drive. It won't help you so much as being able to drive it in a stock car, but at least you'll learn the layout of the racetrack.
You can also watch Kyle Busch. He went out there and did that.
Yeah, he did it in a Toyota Camry, though. He didn't do
the
it
same horsepower as the Camry has.
You still learn the track, and especially at Coda, trying to figure out where the entries to the turns are is the key to this entire track. It's very flowing through most of it, but there's a lot of very short stopping, like hard braking zones that I'll admit I'm going to blow multiple times this week.
Why are you screaming at me?
Me?
Maybe you have your levels too high.
I'm going to have to turn you down, buddy.
Then do it.
I actually just sent a message to our group chat.
I can't help it. I'm loud, and I'm already kind of drunk.
I brought it down to an 80. I was like,
right.
Why is he yelling at me? But anyways.
So, Charles, let's see. After that, is there any track that you have circled that you think you have something for him?
That's a good question.
Let me go look. I have to look because I can't remember all the races we're doing.
I mean, what's your favorite track to start off with while you look? So which one do you think you would be able to go out and just dominate?
Every track.
I don't really specifically have a favorite track. Although I do run pretty good at Pocono. I like
That's
turn
such
two.
an awkward track too.
Turn 2 is my favorite. I love it. You barely get off the throttle, and then you're right back in it, trying to get off of it as fast as you can.
I got to harp on this. Why did, when we did draft night for numbers, what is your attachment to the number 24?
Oh, started watching NASCAR when I was like 5 years old, and ever since I've been a Gordon fan.
My guy. That's all I wanted to hear. My guy. That's it. Perfect.
Yeah, I got Gordon diecast cars beside me. Freaking my
We could see it if you had a webcam.
Here, I'll give us our Jeff Gordon car for the night.
I'm just saying that this dude retired way too young in his prime. He shouldn't have retired.
Jeff Gordon?
Yeah.
You either go out a legend or live long enough to see yourself fade into obscurity.
It don't even matter.
Here's the thing. Jeff retired. I don't want to go down to like a...
Nope. We're about to hit a rabbit hole we're not playing with.
Jeff retired at the perfect... No, all I'm saying is
Elmer
Jeff retired
Fudd.
at the perfect time. Because all you have to do is you have to look back at Richard Petty. He stayed way too long. He wasn't competitive anymore.
Bro, first off...
Look at the comments before you say something.
Hold on, Jeff.
I mean, that's true.
Never
Jeff
had
Gordon
bragged
would've
about
never-
finishing third.
Jeff did say if NASCAR ever runs a street course, he would come back and run it.
Well, he hasn't done it yet. Well, now
they haven't run a
wait.
street course yet.
We're talking True Street.
Street.
Oh yeah, true.
Chicago.
story.
Okay, well then he better be back next
Chicago.
year because Chicago. Justin Anderson, I am not Jeff Gordon. That's why I switched my number to 25. So Brian Vickers would, buddy.
No, Brian Vickers wouldn't. because
Okay,
Brian
we're hey Rain Man, we're not playing this game.
No,
It was
Vickers.
a joke.
No, I'm saying Brian Vickers wouldn't because Brian Vickers doesn't know what a third place finish looks like.
Fair enough. So
right.
Charles, all right, we're going into what race is coming up?
Coda.
Yeah, we just talked about that. So obviously, you've already said that you're not a road course person, right? So
No,
What
unless
is-
it's the
what is-
easy? win.
what is your outlook on this? Like, if you came back to me next week and we talked, what do you think would be a just phenomenal week for you?
I don't
Top 15.
last.
How does that work? Well, that's putting your. You know what? I can't be mad at
Or
Cheers to you, sir.
maybe if there's 20 people, I can hopefully for a top 20 next
You know,
week.
Hey, there you go.
But see, I'm not mad about that. He says last because if he sets his sights low, his standards low, when he gets one above last, he's
There you
a
go.
damn happy man.
Right, 19.
You can't be mad if you get higher than your actual goal,
That's what
even
I'm
though
saying.
you finish last.
That's what I'm saying. So, hey, Adam, if you had to describe driving around Charles, what would you say?
So Charles is a great driver. He gives a lot of respect on the track. If the driver comes near him, he actually is one of the guys that actually gives more than he'll take. So I like that about Charles. Me and him have some really great conversations about other people, the way they don't do that on the track. But this past Tuesday was awesome, though. I felt like if you were faster and you showed a little bit that you were about to do something, most people lifted and went high for you to go into the corners. And I know I do, and I felt like a lot of people did on Tuesday night, which was awesome. And I said it into our group chat, and that I was appreciative that, there was a lot more giving than taking on Tuesday night.
Charles, I want to reverse that question to you about Adam.
Oh hell, likewise. He does the same thing.
How can I get? I want you guys to argue a little bit. I want you to call
No, man, me and Charles are buddies, man.
Hey,
I told you
man.
we're unofficial teammates.
Fair enough. I mean, it might almost seem like repeating, but outlook for this week, Charles, man, give it to me. How do you think you can do?
And who do you think's going to actually win the race?
Yeah. Who do you think's the favorite?
That's a great question because I don't know. it's a crapshoot, honestly.
I missed the entry race for the season for the Daytona road course. So I'm not sure how all these other people race on the road course. I think Patrick Gaspar from last year, he was actually able to really be a factor on road courses. So out of everybody I know, that's who I'm going to go with.
Yeah, Patrick, he was good on the Daytona road course. So if there's anybody, I'd probably pick him too.
Fair enough. Nick, man, you call this every week. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Greg Holt to make it 2 in a row. He messed up at the start of the season at Daytona, made a small mistake. It's what cost him the win. So I think it's going to be Greg Holt this week.
Okay. Let's go. Josh. Josh Carl, not Josh.
Wait, which one's Josh Carl?
Shut up.
I'm also Josh, apparently. I'm Josh.
Well, hold on. In the team, we're all Joshes. Josh Carl.
Yeah, so I keep picking him. I think this is now the 3rd or 4th week in a row, and I'm just doing it just because one of these days I'm going to be right. I'm going Will Cannon again. Eventually it's going to happen. So
He had a strong run until I think he got in a little bit of an accident during the race and kind of put him back on Dover. But he was running up front the first stage. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what happened to him. I watched it today, but I can't remember exactly what happened.
Okay. All right, Josh.
So I got to go with the proven road course champion, and it's got to be Mr. Kazi.
That's a safe bet, brother. That's a safe bet.
I want to be right one time.
I have been. I called Greg Holt one week, so he won.
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Thomas Carino. I'm gonna go TC, man.
Yeah,
He is due. He has been probably the most consistent person who has been winning races over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks.
And generally, when you get guys like that, they shine somewhere. You know, I'm waiting for them to shine somewhere. Maybe it's the road courses. You know, I'm gonna hit him up, man. So I'm gonna take that. But with that being said, hey Charles, we really appreciate you being on, man. And we're gonna have to get you back on again, man. And good luck this week.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the track, bud.
All right, we'll see you, Adam.
All right, bro. Well, have a good one.
All right.
Hey, real fast, Nick asked me to come up with a sketch of you, Larry, for a T-shirt. And I don't know why he thought I was a artist, but I came up with this. I think it's flip. Sorry. There we go.
Hey, first off, buddy.
My God. Could you polarize that? Send it to me. I'll put that shit in the T-shirt so fast. It would be funny.
I got thicker hair than that, man. I need you to put at least some more strands of hair. I don't have hair that looks like Nick's, okay? So, hey, real quick. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to our sponsor. And we'll be right back. We're going to bring in AOL TNT series with David Wright.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions: the TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing, the Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers, the Sportsman Division racing the Gander Outdoor Trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
And we're back. So,
that was priceless.
That was great timing. He did that. He paused during that part.
Oh my God, that was great.
I couldn't resist it. Gentlemen. And I'm going to throw out there again, man, I always appreciate everything that we get. All the support, the love, the support from the fans, everything like that. Speaking of that, Justin Anderson just said that I couldn't find the GFM hats, by the way. Can you post a link or talk about it here? Yeah, absolutely, Justin. The GFM hats, we are waiting for them to come in. Mine's due in Monday. I think Adam's is the exact same. I don't know about anybody else's. But with those GFM hats, we are getting those from Dan
Leland.
Leland. Well, did you know the company's name is what I was getting at?
I got you here in a second.
It's Dan Sonica, right?
Dan Sonica, something like that. Yeah. We will get it. We will get a link. We'll make sure that we post it in here. We'll also post it into the page so that way you guys can order them, man. The man has all kinds of hats that you guys can order, different types. Throw the logo on, man. They look great. We've already seen some stuff coming out, and we can't wait to get them. Andrew, yes, merch is available. Check out the website, the Facebook page. Nick has worked extremely hard on that merch, so check it out. My mug actually should be, my pint glass. Pint to keep me from freaking drinking 2 beers at a time.
Holy crap, is that 4 already?
Yeah, this is a twofer. If it's 2
So yeah,
beers,
you're 4 down.
Well, I drank about 4 before I came upstairs too, so about 8 beers in. But it's a pint glass. It is available on Teespring, and there it is. Well, that's Dan Sonica Embroidery. Those are the hats, and I believe they're going to put up the other one. So check it out, order it, and we appreciate you guys. Also, real quick, Raz, we got a little deal with Raz right now going on. Use code GFM, order it online.
Raise.
I call it Raz. All right, Raise. My bad.
You got it right in the broadcast Wednesday night. So you're like 50-50.
All right, Ray's beers. First off, Justin, it's Yingling Lager, buddy. Kiss my foot. But Ray's energy drinks, man, try them out. That's what Nick drinks before every broadcast. So if you want the energy like Nick,
I don't need any more energy, but I drink them.
Drink a Ray's energy drink, man. They're fantastic. And use code GFM, get 15% off your order offline. And with that being said, let's bring in our next guest, shall we? We're looking at Mr. David Wright. So David Wright from the TNT series. Hey, David, man. Can you hear us?
I sure can.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm wonderful. Let me turn my camera on here.
Hey, there we go. There we go, man. Hey, so David Wright, man. Hey, let's get a little introduction from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Car number, what league you run?
I drive the number 43 Delta Virtual Airlines Chevy Impala for the AOL TNT series. It's my first year. I started in when did I start? March, I think. So I haven't been in it very long, 2-3 months maybe. So right when I joined iRacing, I got an invitation to the league. So been going strong. It's my first league. So
yeah, we're happy to have you. It's been great having you out on track, and really the biggest reason why we wanted to chat with you tonight is we've seen the hours you've put in. We've seen the improvement, and you're one of those people that really kind of embody what the TNT series is.
Oh, it's taken a lot of therapy time too.
So how are you liking the new pedals, man?
I don't remember who I was talking to, but I think it was Carl earlier. I was running at Watkins right before earlier, and I just have them set up underneath my desk right now, so it's kind of difficult to really get on the brakes without pushing me back, back to the love seat back there. But I'm loving them. I mean, it's a lot better than my Logitech stuff. So
I'm assuming you're using load cells now.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am.
That is a completely different change, but man, especially if you don't have something. It's funny when I first joined, I was on a controller. I literally used an Xbox controller when I first started racing the TNT series last year, and then Adam helped me out with a lot of stuff, man. Got me into a lot of stuff. And next thing you know, man, we're looking at an entire freaking rig in the daggum room,
and stuff has spread the love. I mean, I gave Larry some pedals. Larry gave them to Josh. Josh gave them to Carl. So my pedals have been around the block here. So, yeah, man, you start off small and you kind of move around. And you start moving up in the world, it only makes you better. I mean, it makes you better, but also consistent, and that's what those pedals will give you. If you got those rolling chair, put some shoes or something behind you, man. That's what I had to do.
Yeah, I got a new 3D printer coming tomorrow, so I'm all excited about that. Ooh, another hobby. So I'm going to be printing some 3D chocks that the wheels fit into to keep from the chair from rolling back and forth. So that's another one of my projects. But yeah, I'm really, I grew up in Indianapolis. My dad worked at the track from 1964 as a track inspector or a tech inspector. So I've had racing in my blood all my life. I wanted to be a driver. We spent many years out at the IMS during qualifications. Watched it on TV as much as I could. Grew up watching Grand Prix in my teenage years. Got out of it for a while. Got married, then started watching NASCAR. Got out of that, and then just all of a sudden, it was like I started watching Jimmy Broadbent, and I thought, well, I'll give it another shot. So I just bought a cheap wheel, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. So I sold it, and then I started flying, and I was really getting bored with that. So I bought this G27, and that was it. I was just like, I'm taking this. I got to do this. So I got in a subscription for $33 for iRacing, and the rest is history. So,
well, and I gotta say, man, first off, calling the races on Thursday night, it's awesome to see. First off, we call the new breed coming through, but the improvements, right? I think we talk about it week in and week out of guys that just are constantly improving. We've seen a jump from Anthony Schrillo from last season to this season. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got to see him in the street stocks very often. So, Anthony, I hope to see you back.
ARCA.
Thank you. The ARCA series. And then Mikey Keller, we haven't seen him, but we've noticed a little bit of difference with him. But you just came into this league, into the Legends cars, and the amount of improvement we've seen from the Legends to the ARCA cars is just monumental, man. Like, you have really put in the time to get better.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that real fast, because I got BRS pulled up right here. I'm just looking at a few of your stats here, and this is just what he has logged with BRS. Daytona, and this is including the race, Daytona ran 223 laps. That's a
lot for Daytona.
New Smyrna ran 373 laps, and then at Las Vegas ran a total of 416 laps. So you're really putting the time in, man, and it's impressive.
And then I have a shitty race like last night.
Oh man, and we all have shitty races.
Oh, it happens to everybody.
I was so heartbroken last night. I was really hoping for a good finish, and it was just like, I was so angry.
And you gotta think about it in two senses too, man. That sometimes when you go into, I can't tell you how many times I go into a race and I'm like, I feel extremely confident, right? Like, I'm like, this is it. This is my track. I've had my practice. I feel comfortable. And then you go in and it's just not anything that one issue compiles to another, and then you have another one, and then another, and then next thing you know, by the end of the race, you're so damn dejected. You're like, what could I have done that could have made it better? Yeah, I couldn't do anything. And everything.
It was like me and Mike Wazinski were back there racing each other. It's like I'm 9 laps down, and poor Mike, he was having a heck of a time trying to keep his car on 4 wheels, and I didn't want to get in anybody else's way, because that was another issue. And it's just, I had a fast car. I had a great car. Practice, I was running 31.8s, 31.6s, 32.6s, and I could not wear out my tires. I did 60 some odd laps on a set of tires, so I could do it. You know, I mean, the race was only 75 laps, so I didn't have to stop.
And sometimes, and let me just, and this piece of advice to me and you, man, sometimes it's just not there. It's just not in line. You know what I mean? You're going to have those nights. It's just, I can't tell you how many times that there's some of the best racers. Adam just can't seem to find. He's a good racer. Not to say he's the best racer, but he's a great racer. I give the man a lot of crap. What?
He has more wins than you.
Fair enough. But I'm still not going to give him a great racer, but he's really, really good, and he's a strong driver. But for the love of the poor guy, he can't find luck in AOLL, right? Like,
No.
And
Not at all.
just at the end of the day, man, that's a lot that you're just going to see that you're not going to find that luck.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty hard on myself too. This is my first year. I shouldn't expect a whole lot. This should be a learning curve for me, and I think I'm doing pretty well so far.
Oh no, you phenomenal. First off, I'm gonna interrupt you right there before you can even dig at yourself any further. You're doing phenomenal, man. Like,
none of us came into the league and immediately was just the cream of the crop. If you look at on Dan Lisa and you look at me, Carl, Chris from last year, we were lucky to be in the top 10 last year.
Well, one thing I want to say about last year, season 2 of 2020, I finished 4th in the points ahead of Larry, and that was my first season.
Why every time that I want to go to the bathroom? I'm like, this man's gonna talk. Let me go pee, and then no, wants to throw a dig.
But for real, I also had some really good finishes. I had some good speed that year or that season, but I also had a lot of incidents. I drove recklessly. I was stupid. I wrecked out a lot of good cars that season, and I wasn't really getting it. Like, I wasn't really understanding it. Like, to finish first, you must But like, for real, like, I mean, I put a big focus on reducing incident points. This season's going not as well as last season due to last week, but like, I think that when I started kind of changing my goals, like, I'm not going out trying to win. I'm trying to get if I come in and I've got a car that is 5th fastest, I'm not expecting to win the race. Like, my goal at that point is to try to have a 5th place finish. I mean, are you kind of starting to see that sort of shift with yourself as well? I mean, are you kind of taking it from a different perspective?
Right now, my goal is to finish in the points in the top 10. I would like to at least get a top 10 finish in a race, which I think is going to happen by the end of the season. That's my goal. I just want to get out of the teens and into the 10s. I'll be happy with that. As far as a win, I mean, I haven't ran Dega in the Arca car yet, so I don't know what it's like. I haven't ran Dega in a long time, so I should probably
Were you in the Daytona race? I missed that one.
Yes.
So it's like that, but there's a lot more space in it, so it's really nice. It allows for 3 wide racing. Not many people still do 3 wide, but it's wide enough where it's comfortable to do it. And the tri-oval is not as sharp as Daytona. Like, Daytona has a kind of a more sharper little tri-oval than Talladega.
Yeah. I ran Dega with the Cup cars a couple of updates ago. I think it was after a race from here Thursday night. I jumped onto a hosted race running the Cup cars. I had a complete blast because we were side drafting, and I think I came in second, being pushed. But I mean, if I could do that, I know I could do this. But it's just when I get in here, I feel like that I'm surrounded by you guys, which I all look up to. I just panic because it's like I don't want to take any of you guys out. And
don't worry about that. In all honesty, that's the biggest thing I can tell you is there's going to be a racing incident once in a while. and no one's going to. Okay, some of us won't fault you for it. I'm sure you will hear an angry comment over the radio, but at the exact same time, we honestly know that you're learning, and we've seen what you're doing on track, and honestly, it's not gonna I may be angry in the moment, but it's gonna go away really quickly. Because we've seen the level of practice that you're putting in, because you're putting in the kind of laps that we were putting in last year, the kind of laps that we were putting in before the season started this year. And we know that it's a passion. You're really, really wanting to get up there. And the only way that you're going to learn how to run with us is to run with us.
Yeah. I mean, going out there and doing solo practices is one thing, but whenever you get around the people you're driving with, it's a whole different animal, especially if there's a little bit of drafting that goes on, because you'll run in the corner 2, 3, 4 miles an hour faster than what you're normally doing in practice solo by yourself. And that puts more wear and tear on your tires. That puts you at different entry angles, braking points. There's a lot of different things that you get from racing with other people versus practice.
And I think that's what happened last night with Tom Stevens and I. He was above me and I was coming in underneath him, and I think he just took the air off my front end and I lost it, And that's when I came down and I came up and clipped Dave and didn't even know he was there. He was in my blind spot and I didn't even see him, and I clipped him and I just was like,
Well,
again, that's one of those things that it just happens.
We'll talk about that right here in a second, actually.
Okay.
Because I did read all the comments to all that and got my own opinions. I watched the incident video, everything like that, and we could talk about that here in a second. What I actually wanted to do is I wanted to talk about. I wanted to first off point this out. Justin Anderson, one of the faster drivers in the Cup Series, right? And he threw a little piece of advice out there, and I think it's phenomenal, right? So he said, bad nights and bad luck happen, but the preparation will start to pay off. So stay positive, man. That's a huge thing. And I completely 100% agree with that. That is, no matter how much you want to be down on yourself or this or that or anything like that, and you can prepare and it just seems like nothing goes right. Like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, it'll click. I just have to be patient with myself and just soak up the mistakes and learn from those and apply what I've learned so I don't do it again.
Exactly.
Exactly, man.
And this year was really rough, or this season was really rough, because we went from the Legends to an ARCA car, which is a mid-aught spec NASCAR.
Right.
And the learning curve was a huge, huge jump. And just seeing what's happened in the past few weeks, I'm one of those that just try to stay and just take the wins, the just little wins that we have, even though I'll admit I didn't sleep much last night. I was a little mad at myself. But no, you take the small wins and be like, okay, I moved up 2 spots in comparison to last week. We look back at 2 weeks ago. Okay, I didn't have a self-spin. Well, that's a great positive.
Well, and that's going to go on to that mental aspect, right? So think about it, racing, a lot of the mental aspects. So I got a real quick question. It should be real quick. Are you working with anybody?
No. This is all by myself. This is stuff that I've...
So let me throw this out real quick. Talk to these guys, man. Talk to the Carl Hendersons that's mediocre, or the Nicks that's kind of a 10th place finisher, or talk to the Josh Laston who's a front runner, and
he's pretty popular though.
But hey, seriously,
I will have to say, and I don't mean to interrupt. I will say,
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I will get pieces of advice from everybody here and there during practice and stuff. And the biggest piece of advice, and I don't remember who gave it to me, was they said, turn your noise down, turn your engine down, turn the wind noise down, turn your tires up.
Yeah. You want to hear the chatter in them tires.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that has helped me so much, especially at Iowa and last night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I've been able to run these long laps on these tires without having to change them.
Yeah.
I've been able to conserve my tires.
Well, real quick, Carl, before you go to your point, I'm sorry, but what I was getting at is talk to these guys. Talk to, like I said, and I joke with them, but Carl, Nick, Josh, and that's just the guys in the TNT series. Talk to Adam. I would say talk to me because, well, obviously I'm not running very strong in the Cup Series, but
Don't talk to Larry. He finishes third.
But talk to the Justin Andersons, the Blake Gordons. Talk to Joe Dinsmore. Talk to anybody in this league that you see that's running really well, and watch how fast they drop what they're doing, and they help you out, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, last season, Joe, he would come into TNT practice, he'd run with me until midnight, till we could figure out what I was doing wrong. And that's what this league is all about. So just
if you're up at 2 in the morning, Joe will race with you at 2 in the morning because that man doesn't.
He does not sleep, man.
He will throw up a practice session.
So, hey, sorry, Carl. I interrupted you, man. Sorry.
All right. No, I just want to ask. So, first of all, I just want to say, Nick, you can pick on Larry about the third place finish when you get one this season. I am curious.
Who sped on pit road last night?
I still finished.
He still finished further than you, buddy.
We finished third last night.
Hey, bring clout when you have clout, buddy.
Taking people out the last lap, you son of a bitch.
Doesn't take teammates out who didn't decide to mount the wall and come out of.
It's getting deep now.
So I want to ask you. You know, I mentioned earlier you've been running a lot of practices. You've been running a ton of laps. At this point, when you're running those practices, what are you looking for? Like, I know you talking about running long stunts. Like, are you focusing on consistency? Are you focusing on lap times? Like what is your focus in practice?
Adam.
How drunk is Larry gonna be?
No. This is for
a 2.5 hour podcast.
Right.
How many beers?
Hold on. First off, I'm building.
Drunk.
I am building a pyramid, and I'm doing this against Josh.
Okay.
No, I'm just doing. Let me just put it this way.
Stop.
Yeah, go ahead,
David.
Consistency. That's one of my big faults. Is I cannot stay in a line, so I go around and around until I'm blue in the face until I can get consistency. If I can stay 32, I'll use Vegas as an example, like 32. But if I can range from like 0.6 to 0.8 or 0.4 to 0.8, that's acceptable to me. That's an acceptable time. Because I know that the race is going to be more than qualifying time. So I don't even know what the average lap time was last night in the race. So that's what's important to me is consistency.
So
that's what I see in everybody else running is consistency.
So if again, just a little piece of advice, man. Don't ever go into practice and play off other people's times, man. Like, because there's guys that are going to jump in there and they're going to run hot laps until they beat that time, right? Like, I'm going to run 5 laps and I'm going to go get new tires and I'm going to run 5 laps. Don't play that game, man, because you're never going to be consistent, man. What do they say? Consistency wins championships, right? Like, that's all you need to do is be consistent. And you want to mark, you're right, but I can't tell you how many times, man, I've went out, personally, I know these guys want to joke, personally, though, that I've went out and I qualify 25th, and I'm like, I don't have the speed, and then I finished top 10. But it wasn't because, it wasn't because I wasn't fast, it's because I didn't go out there and run the hot lap. I didn't know how to run a track, right? So, but I could run it consistently in a fast speed. So,
Yeah, and that's what I had in mind. I mean, because I ran a 31 something yesterday, and as hard as I tried at one of my stints, I could not even come close to that time. And I'm like, okay, so that's not going to happen. So let's just worry about hitting my marks, tire wear, conserving my tires, and see how long I can go on a set of tires. And not worry about how fast I can go, because just if everybody's pushing really hard, they're going to wear their tires out more, and that's going to bring them to me.
That's called racing a racetrack.
Well,
exactly.
And that was the key of, if you watched last night's broadcast, Josh did phenomenally. If it wasn't for his mistakes, Josh would have won that race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you, Carl, I see that smirk. But no, Carl would have been fighting me for it eventually.
No, he wouldn't have.
Yes, he would have.
Maybe hairline.
Oh,
Just no hairline. The hairline's on my back.
We know. We know you have enough hair just like him. Anyway, sorry.
if you look at what Carl and I both do in practice, the second we jump out there, the entire goal is for us to see how far we can push the car on a set of tires until they pop. And sometimes we'll sit and we'll hit the end of what the race distance is and then decide to pit. Then there's some things like 2 weeks ago to where me and Tim St. Jean literally ran it to see if we could pop them before the gas ran out, and we made it all the way to needing to fill up, and our tires were still at 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Because the big thing for us is, if you can make it to the end of a stint or the entire race distance on a single set of tires, that means A, you didn't hit the wall hard enough to make you need to pit, which means you found I know, we know the Larry line. But no, it really just comes down to that, to where if you can control the car on ancient tires, you can control it when they're fresh.
Where do you guys...
You may not be fast, but at the same time, you can make it all the way to the end, to where if we have an incident like Iowa, some guys that only ran 10 laps have no idea what to do, and we had some people make it the entire race without a pit stop, and then we had people coming in because they blew a tire out with 5 laps to go. And I have intentions on bringing that up when John's in here.
Well, and that's going to be here in just a minute. So we're looking at Watkins Glen. All right. So we've completely shifted from this oval, mile and a half track, short tracks, whatever, to a road course. I got to know, David, how do you feel on that?
Well, a few days ago, I was pretty comfortable on it, but after tonight, I was like, it ain't gonna happen. I was playing with the brake bias and all that stuff, and it's gonna have to take me a long time to get more comfortable with it, which I'm probably gonna have to start laying down a lot more laps. I love road courses in a smaller car.
Yeah.
Put me in a Porsche, put me in a Mazda, I'm okay. Put me in a Legends car, I absolutely love it. I'll throw that thing around all day long. But in these ARCA cars and the NASCARs, holy crap, it's like throwing the Titanic around.
Well,
and
go ahead.
It's just, I guess I'm not used to it. Because I've never run a road course in such a heavy car. So that's something I need to get used to.
So I think the biggest issue on those is start braking sooner than what you think, and
it doesn't slow down as fast. That's a good point.
You go into those corners more cautiously, and then build your tolerance up. With the load cell pedal, you're going to have to learn that new feel. So you've been used to a non-load cell on these road courses, and now you have to get used to what a load cell can do for it, instead of before it was like based off of what position. Now it's based off of your pressure. So now you have to get used to that consistency of that. And that's where, once you figured that out, that's when you're going to pick up the speed because you will be consistent. But my biggest advice is on Watkins Glen, going into the bus stop there, slow down well in advance and then kind of work your tolerance up. Like, okay, I know I can't go past the number 4 sign or whatever sign you hit. Start at the 5 sign, then move in between 5 to 4, then hit 4 and see where you can go. And then, that's the biggest one right there is that little chicane there, and then coming down the front stretch across the start-finish line.
Oh,
back
God.
those
one
corners. You have
turn
to back.
one is the key on that. Well, the last turn and turn 1 are the keys at Watkins Glen, 100%.
So my takeaway for turn 1 is if you can brake and hit that center apex and accelerate off, you're going to win. You're going to beat anybody on the track. If you push it too hard, you're going to push the car. It's going to push you out in that no man's land, and you're going to lose a lot of speed. Because in the Cup cars, the trucks, and the Xfinity cars, you need that launch off of turn 1 that'll take you up to the chicanes and up into the bus stop, because that all builds your speed from that one spot right there on turn 1. From that corner exit all the way is your speed all the way up to the bus stop.
Yeah, and it's amazing because all this, running the laps that I've run there have been, as Adam says, I've learned all this stuff, and it's just, I'm so new at this. It's like,
yeah, it's overwhelming, man. And especially road courses. Road courses is a whole different animal in a heavy car.
So let's play it this way. Let's make it easy. We got a nice little crop of commenters out there. I see Justin still commenting, talking this crap. So we're not even going to acknowledge him. But hey, let's actually, in all seriousness, let's get somebody out there, man. Hey, let's get with David Wright and let's teach him the course. And I'm not, and I'm not talking about, and no disrespect to the TNT guys. Josh, if you got time, please. Carl, I know you're good. Nick, you're solid. Guys, teach them.
Nick claims to have something for me this week, but we'll see.
That look on his face, I don't know.
Nick, what are you running for lap times?
You're muted, dude.
I don't divulge my secrets.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Not even to teammates.
But hey,
not to teammates on an open podcast where everybody can hear me. No.
What I'm talking about though is I want the Cup guys to stand up. I want the Fast Cup guys to come out. Blake,
that's definitely not me on road courses.
I mean, you're solid.
Well, there's one that...
brother. We did 24 hours Daytona. You're a solid road course.
And that LMP.
Yeah.
You're still
screwed
solid.
that one up, but let's not talk about that one.
You're still solid.
I would absolutely love doing something like that. That would be.
We're definitely going to be doing it.
We'll do it again, man. We had a blast doing it.
I think we're going to do
that later.
I think we're going to do 4-man teams this time, though, instead of 8-man.
Yeah, the stints kind of got all jacked up, but we'll talk about that. We'll definitely get you with it. But what I'm talking about is I want to talk about like Joe. I want to talk about Blake. All these guys. Let's get with this man and let's show him around. Let's figure out whether it be VRS or let's just drive him around the track. I know Joe's got the. I'm not gonna say Joe's got the time. I don't want to speak for
this
Joe.
Weekend.
I know Joe don't have the time this weekend, but I'm not going to speak for Joe. But I want to say let's show him around this track. And David, if nobody reaches out to you, let me know. I will do it.
Okay.
I was going to say I'm looking at his VRS right now and. I know exactly where I can fix things.
There you go. And that's what I'm talking about. I'll pull VRS from this guy, and we'll figure out where he's faster than you. And we will play this game. So
I was going to say your turn one is way better than mine.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And Josh has really helped me a lot with the VRS. Him and I sat down in Discord one night, and we went over, was it New Smyrna, I think?
It might have been before that. No, that was Richmond.
Okay. I think Carl jumped in too with that. So, yeah, I mean, you two guys have just been phenomenal.
And we want to keep that trend up in this league.
Right. So, and like I've said in the past in the Facebook page, you guys have been overwhelming, welcoming me into the group. I mean, this is actually the first time that we've all sat down and saw each other face to face. So it's like, I'm kind of nervous. And
well, remember one thing: we're a little bit of a different entity, right? Like we're GFM as much as we are AOLL. Like we all got our start in AOLL. It's how we met all of each other. But at the end of the day, we're all GFM here.
Yeah,
So.
you guys are all wonderful, so I appreciate
we
that.
appreciate that.
I was going to say, looking at your VRS, we can get you at least 5 seconds
Nick
off your
kind of
lap time.
sucks, but
Cool. Thank you.
Damn, just stop hating on Nick tonight. He's going to leave. All right, so lastly, before you take off, Daniel Shirley says, to familiarize yourself with a track, drive it in fourth gear until you know all the turns inside and out, then drive it. Then do laps where you shift in the third gear and then shift down into second gear on it, so you're not dropping the gears too quickly.
That's
so you'll know what it feels like
brilliant.
from that third. And then when you slow down, drop it in the second gear to see what it does.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
That's brilliant. So, with that being said, David, man, I think we've got some guys here that will reach out to you. I think Josh is kind of taking that head. Correct me if I'm speaking wrong, Josh.
No, I was already planning on putting up something to work with the entire team this weekend, so
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll make it happen. So we'll get you taken care of, man. We'll make sure that everything's taken care of. And as we said, man, don't get down on yourself, man. Let's do this thing.
Yep. I will do it. Thank you guys.
We love having you around, and you're a great addition.
All right, cool. Dude, your improvement's been just monumental, man.
Phenomenal.
Huge.
Is that what you want to say?
I was thinking monumental, but phenomenal wanted to come to my mind, but I think monumental is bigger. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
You've been crushing it, man. But thanks for coming on the show, man. Sure. And let's hope to get you back soon, man. But I want to get you back for a win. So let's hope that happens. Well, better yet, let's go for a top 5. I'll take top 5.
Yes, top 5. Top 5 is great.
All right, man.
All right.
Appreciate you coming out tonight.
Sure.
Good night, man.
Have a good one, brother.
Bye-bye.
Hear me out on this. I don't think I've ever wanted to root for somebody more than that right there.
No, that's why I've been... No.
No.
Because you're a challenge. I want to win. You can actually
Carl, I'll root for you, Carl, because I have no damn chance against Josh.
Well, I never even saw Larry on the track. I was in my rearview mirrors.
Larry, let's talk about the championship season last year. Where did you finish?
I don't know.
7th. Where did I finish? 3rd.
I mean, I know I was higher than Carl.
1 spot.
What are you talking about? He just said 2nd. He finished 3rd. How did you finish 3rd and he finished 3rd?
Wait, what?
No,
7th.
he was 1 spot
7th.
behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
2.
said you finished 3rd.
Drinking too much.
7th was Larry. 8th was Nick. 9th was Carl.
Oh, 2 spots.
You still finished behind me.
And me.
Championship season was rough for me. I'm not going to go into details there, but that was a
It is
rough
what it
period in my
is.
life right there. So
It is what it is. But hey, we're gonna take a quick little break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna bring John Gordon on for the trucks and the cup. Even though I'm gonna say one thing, and before we go, we said this was gonna be a free for all because Randy wasn't here, right? Randy's like the professional. And I throw the quotes out there because he wants to keep it like in line and everything like that.
We're still relatively on track.
No,
We're doing well.
no, we're not.
We're 15 minutes off.
we're off time, boys.
Margin of error.
Plus or minus.
Yeah,
right.
plus or minus. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna bring John Gordon on, and we're gonna crush the truck series, and we're gonna talk Cup series. But we're gonna also bring a little TNT series because you guys race them in TNT series too, so it should be good time, right?
Maybe.
I hate you. I'm just kidding. All right, we'll be right back.
For 20 years, the Guitar Attic has been your home for used and vintage guitars in the Daytona Beach area and at GuitarAttic.com. The Guitar Attic is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that beginner piece, they've got you covered. With names like Fender, Gibson, Gretsch, Ibanez, Martin, Taylor, and much, much more, the Guitar Attic has all the guitars you need. And bass players, they haven't forgot about you. They've got all the top names. Amplifiers from Friedman, Victoria, Fender, Boss, and many, many more. They also have the largest selection of used pedals anywhere in the Southeast. The Guitar Attic, located at 1672.5 Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flomish in Holly Hill, Florida. Also, check us out online at guitarattic.com.
The AOL.
So we're back tonight, man. All right. So we talked a little TNT, but we're about to talk trucks. We're about to talk TNT, and we're about to talk cups. So we're going to bring all the AOLL aspect right now, and we're going to bring in Mr. John Gordon. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Gordon. John, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
And that is the best looking bald head on the podcast.
Earned that one.
Freshly shaved.
But here's the thing, though. He's got you an age, experience, and everything else, and look how beautiful it is.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my beard to turn gray. I think it's going to look much more professional and wise.
I would take gray over the balding that I'm going through right now.
I earned mine.
So, all right, real quick.
You did raise an alien, so
Josh,
I can only imagine.
you're complaining about your balding.
Therapy than raising Blake.
Josh, I don't know who you think you are complaining about your balding, but hello.
So,
At some point you
I don't want to hear your complaints.
All right, before we quit talking about hair for a second,
All right,
John.
You're the one who brought it up.
I mean, he's the best. He's the best looking bald guy on the podcast. I just said best bald looking guy. I wasn't talking about hair. John, give us some little deets about you, man. Number, who do you race for? What series do you race for, and all that good stuff.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, let's see. One of the original members of AOLL, although I got in late on the Hawaii days, so I didn't have as many huge phone bills as most of the others. I've been racing with car number 19 ever since I started. It's just been one of my numbers that it's just stuck around. I'm a twin. My twin brother used to race in the AOLL. Some of the old guys remember him as Survey This. If it's too quiet on this one, I'll switch mics.
No, actually, once you brought it up a little bit closer, it got a lot louder.
All right, yeah, so I've got different settings going on with this thing, so I probably have it set on the near setting right now.
That right there sounds amazing.
So, got around to the late 90s, 2000 range. Took a break from racing. Life got in the way, getting married, raising Blake a little bit. We're doing go-kart racing and all sorts of other things. Blake goes off to college and starts doing this thing called iRacing. I said, yeah, I know about iRacing. I just don't have the time or money to do it. And finally last year, started getting rumblings. Everybody wants to start getting back together. Everybody got the itch when we started seeing NASCAR on TV, all the guys racing online on Fox. So we're like, we got to get back into this. Everybody's got to get back. So next thing you know, you see the AOL just form right back, and we're back to having fun. And that's what it's always driven me to be as part of this group. It's all about fun. It's just a great bunch of guys.
Thank you.
Used to have wonderful get-togethers.
It wasn't talking about you don't race.
You guys are, later additions to it, but you guys have been fun.
It was purely a joke. I just couldn't resist that.
He's been a fine addition to the group. But everybody has just been so nice, and I want to take a moment here, especially if Dave is still watching. I was never the fastest guy, And I've got something here on my desk. I don't know. Hang on. I'm going to do something here real quick. You guys just hang with me.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
That right there.
Ah, look at the turtle shell. God damn
That
it.
is-
I want one.
Season 1 TNT. I was the champion, not because I was the fastest, but because I was there and consistent.
Was that
I did
Kevin
get
Deets
one
send that
win.
to you?
Yeah, Kevin Deets actually presented this to me in person. He actually flew across the country, met me at the Richmond airport here in Virginia, and we met at an Arby's across from the airport, and we hung out for a bit, and he presented me with my trophy. This was back when afterwards I went back to Larry Pitts' house, God rest his soul, and with Keith Makda, another guy that's been out there. He's out in Germany right now. And we sat around, we played poker with pennies. We had a good time. I hung out for a few hours, and I had to make the trek back down to Virginia Beach. Kevin Deets, if you're watching, man, I love you. Hope you and family are doing good out there in Vegas.
Yeah, Kevin, whenever I first joined the league in back last March or so, like I didn't even know him, but the man was like awesome. I painted him 2 cars because he's like, I want to get back into it. Here's my old cars. I used to actually race out here in Vegas.
Yep.
Can you remake it? And I helped him out. And the man was awesome.
My wife
I'm
and I
sad he's
had
not still out there racing with us.
Yeah, my wife and I had our honeymoon in Vegas. Kevin Deets picked us up at the airport. Our flight didn't get in until 1:30 in the morning. He picked us up. He gave us a tour of the strip and said, okay, and dropped us off at our hotel. Came back and picked us up next morning, took us out to breakfast. We went out to Las Vegas Speedway, did a track tour. And Kevin's just an awesome fellow. I'm sad to see that he's not able to race with us much anymore because of health issues, but I'd love to still see him come out every once in a while. He's just one of those guys. He's just a fabulous guy. You want him as a friend.
Yeah,
he's just a great person. Almost everybody I've ever met in this league is that way. Even Nick. Nick, I can tell you're a good guy.
You're not in race chat with him. He's fun to have around. He's just an angry guy.
Even though I'm not in race chat with him, I am in race chat with Blake, Johnny, Blake Ziti, Sean Carmody. Every once in a while, Joshua Mays makes it. Unfortunately, Josh tried to get in last night on the TNT race, and his VR, he was trying to get his headset to work, and his VR was working fine, but he couldn't get any audio. So we spent literally up to the start of the race to give him everything we could to get him into the race so he can run. He finally jumped in to turn some laps. But yeah, it's we have an interesting race chatter on our own over at Endeavor, so you guys can have fun on your end. But back to my point, to Dave and everybody else that's finding their way into this and struggling, don't be overly concerned with where you're at. Look for the positive progress. Like I said, I got my championship not from winning, just being consistent. I did have one win in that first season, and the only reason why I had that win is because with about 4 laps to go in the race, we were racing at Dover. Everyone except me got booted from the race. That race had to be finished. I finished it in first. It counted as a win.
See, Larry, there is hope for you to get a win.
Well,
man.
first off,
Larry, but except no one gets mass booted anymore. So you're going to have to earn it a little more.
Hold on. I am not that goddamn terrible, first off.
We aren't saying you're bad. We're just saying that
we are.
Really just...
Yeah.
No,
okay,
see,
you
no,
are.
well, what the?
Everybody.
First off, the fact that you got John agreeing with this is hurtful, all right?
John got to run with you last year, too.
Yeah. Now,
John was way behind me to do it with me. Just kidding, John.
Well, I was trying to pass you that one time, and you decided to shove me into the inside wall, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Everyone has a Larry.
Tell you a story about that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, so, and let's run back to the beginning of this season and first season TNT at Five Forks. I pit with 40 laps in, and everybody else stayed out. So I got fresh tires. I restart 9th, and 5 laps later, I'm in the lead. Yeah. I am hauling the mail, and I've got Johnny and Blake in my ear saying, slow the F down. You don't need to wear your tires out because they're not going to catch you. So I slow it down. I run Josh's pace. So then we get that caution with 20 laps to go. And I'm like, okay, everybody's pitting. We all pit. I take my last set of tires. Josh and Carl still have a set of tires after that. We get a caution with 5 to go. Why didn't they pit? Because I was a sitting duck at that point. If they pit, they would have flown by me. So I want to thank Josh and I want to thank Carl.
Way to rub salt in the wound that, okay, it's not as fresh as some other ones. But.
I'm just saying. So luck comes, but bad luck comes in the same way. We can see it in the other broadcasts that we've seen. A prime example is Martinsville last week with Blake getting caught and not getting to the win because he had he got caught in pit road, or Martinsville, he got a late pit stop. And he had to fight his way through traffic and barely got back to Justin. Now at that last caution that came out, I think he might have gotten around him, but that last caution came out and Justin was able to hold him off for that win. So, I mean, luck is going to come, speed will come, but don't try to be the fastest car, because if you don't know how to control the car, you're never going to be the fastest car.
So one thing I want to add to that, just partially to defend myself for what you said there, because I do at times regret not taking tires in that race. But it goes. There was a very specific reason why I didn't take tires, and it goes back to what you're saying about consistency. And that car got pretty loose on fresh tires, and we had like a 3 or 4 lap, and you were faster, but it was loose.
True.
It was the second race of the season. I was completely content with having a third place finish. Like, I could have fought for the win, but I was also terrified I was going to get tires, spin out in turn 2, possibly take out my teammate with me.
Were there like 2 cars that did spin out, 2 or 3 cars that did spin out?
Actually, I think that one on that one,
Yeah, you go back to that specific race, and great strategy. Like, I was cursing your name in the process.
Oh yeah,
It was luck because.
But
I
debated.
I was debating because I was like, do I just stay and ride it out? Because I was enjoying the run we were having. Okay. But then I was like, okay, I did tap the wall a little bit a few laps ago. It's not going to hurt anything. It's early. And I know how the tires are falling off. So let me take the shot. And then when no one else came, I was like, oh, this could be good. So then, and then Blake makes the comment while I'm flying, he says, "Man, I bet you feel like me right now, don't you?" I'm like, "No, shut up."
it goes back to, like, things that you don't have all the information you have, and you might end up later with the season. Like, looking back, like, if I had known that Josh was going to go on the tear that he did throughout the rest of the season, I wouldn't have been playing for consistency. I would have been trying to race for the win there. But I mean, you don't know what you don't know. I thought, like, I saw what Josh had done, the last season of 2020, and he was pretty aggressive, was getting himself in trouble a lot. I'm like, hey, if I just run top 3 every race, I'll be fine. And then this asshole goes out and runs like
a-hole,
but runs like 5
PG-13
finishes in a row or something.
We go back to that specific race, and John, you showed it perfectly. I want that lamp. And that's why I was perfectly fine not taking the risk. And then you look at the past few weeks, and myself, I've forgotten that goal.
Yeah, it's the pit stops have been clouding your path there. So
yeah,
he sucks at pit stops.
Damn it, we almost got through without having to bring that up.
So first
off, I don't know if we can blame all of the pit stop crap on Josh. At Daytona, I led the entire team off a cliff.
Well, we know that, but
you didn't last night.
Last
night you guys screwed up yourself.
I watched the
but I led the whole team off a cliff.
I'm like, I watch the replay and I see all the cars go off, and I'm like, wow, that reminds me of like Airplane with Ted Stryker leading the whole squadron into the. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised, honestly, in these past few races when I'm here, like, oh man, they had a problem on pit road again. I'm like, wow. I knew how much even in our race, your sliding through the box and then your speeding penalty hurt you. And then Carl got the one, and I was like, this is going to make things interesting. I was of the mindset when we were watching in practice. A lot of people having issues with the car getting loose. I mean, I was doing some goofy stuff with brakes and everything else, try to see if I could find some other bit of magic around the track a little bit. But I thought we were going to have more cautions than we did. But everybody got spread out, and everybody just started just running.
Yeah.
So when we had that last restart, I was hauling the mail because I got caught on pit road when the caution came out. So I just took the wave around with fresh tires. And I think I set the fastest lap time on lap 71. Okay. So, and I knew Chris took 2 tires, and I'm like, he's going to be a handful. I knew that before the green flag came out. So, but he and Blake were battling a little bit, but Blake was having a hard time trying to get around him. And finally I was like, okay, Chris is holding him up. I'm going. And he's like, whoa, what are you doing? I said, I'm going. We got to go. So, but that was a fun race. But again, the prime example for everybody still trying to learn, especially these cars and those tracks. You've got to. I always go through a mindset. I do a lot of offline practicing myself, but I don't necessarily practice the fast line. I practice the offline, because if I'm going to be off speed or worn down on tires,
Exactly.
I want to run that second line to make sure I leave a racing line. So you've got to find a balance in your practice. Your entire practice cannot be trying to find the fastest speed. It's finding the best car control in all conditions.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And
that's going to come.
And kind of just following suit on that with what your boy Blake.
I'm sorry, fellas. I foisted my son on the AOLL.
As he stated, he said,
feel bad.
He said you definitely need luck in racing. Maybe luck isn't the right word. The right brakes have to go your way, and what we call the right brakes, we call Blake cautions, right? Like, I mean, that's. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah,
I know, but I can tell you right now, and I want to make this clear for everyone league wide. There's no one on our team radio going, "Hey, you must have an itch. Go ahead and scratch it." There's no one ever doing that.
Anybody want a hot dog? Anybody want a hot dog?
No one's going for hot dogs. No one's saying, "Hey, look at that chick." Nothing's going on the radio to say Blake needs a caution. Okay.
Well,
we
like to give him crap.
Yeah, everybody loves to give him crap, and that's fine. That's the hallmark of this league. Everyone's allowed to give everybody crap.
I think it would be more severe if we seen Endeavor cars bringing out the cautions, but we don't see Endeavor cars bringing out the cautions when Blake's getting a Blake caution, right? Like that's So we like to joke about it. I mean, we brought it up to him, and
I mean, Blake is usually the benefactor of those things, so we completely understand.
He just puts himself in a position to where obviously has a gap. Of course, we're going to just try to make that connection because, unfortunately, it's him and Justin at the front, and now we have Hanner. That's also it's
Dan Shirley and
well, and
guys that are going to be up there,
and we're about to see a little bit of a shakeup this weekend because we're not going to have Joe Densmore is more than likely. We're saying more than likely is not going to be there. Blake's not going to be there.
Blake won't be there, and he won't be at COTA.
So we're going to see a shakeup within the league, right? So my question to you, John, is where do we see this fine line, right, between the veterans and the newcomers?
Honestly, I don't know. Everybody can be as fast as Blake or Justin or Joe or Dan or Andrew or anybody
Larry
in the league. Well, I wasn't going to go that far down the list.
I was going to say anybody can be as fast as like 16th. It's okay, Larry.
It's a joke. I'm kind of messing.
You can run back with me in the 20s. That's fine. You just got to put in the time. I mean, that's all Blake ever did was put in time. Now, I will say, as a youngster starting out in go-karting, I did teach him how to drive without a wheel.
Wait, what?
little inside joke. we took them to a little go-kart track outside because we raced all our go-kart races at Langley Speedway. But there's a go-kart track up at Fort Eustis. It's an Army base north of Langley Speedway. They had a little track. You can rent it for $5 for like an hour or two. Just turn laps because it's a road course track. He didn't, but the track had a lot more banking in the turns than what Langley does for its go-karts. And we had just worked on his car, got it all gassed up, and getting ready to send him out. And he starts taking off to go off the pit road, and he's heading down into this left-hand turn. And all of a sudden, you see the cart just lurch forward, and you see the right front tire just rolling off into the dirt. I was like, I guess that wheel wasn't tight.
There it is. Hey, Blake's actually talking about this in the comments, which is why I'm laughing.
Yeah, and he got better at it, but when he was first going around, he was going around this track and he hit a turn and he hit the brakes to get in the turn, and the cart would spin out. And I'm like, well, what are you hitting the brakes for? I said, just take your foot off the gas and turn the wheel. It's going to hold, and that's where he's learning. He learned how to start getting into the turns better. Now, fast forward to him going through college and getting on with his life and him doing iRacing since like 2014 or something like that. He's just put in the time. And that's all it is. It's a lot of time. So it gets to the point of muscle memory. And, he gets things to the point going, man, this thing feels like 0.2 slower than the last time I ran this thing. I don't know, is it the air temperature or what's going on? But, he's good at what he does because he put in all that time. And that's all it is. It's the amount of time you put in. So if you're getting into this, don't be frustrated with the fact that you're not running as fast as everybody else right now, but you will be putting in the time, and it just comes. Good practice habits.
So you said Langley, right?
Yep.
So that actually brings everything together because it's pretty funny. I was talking to Blake just the other day and made a comment about the fact that when we were discussing what car we were going to go to next, he was saying, if we go to ARCA, we can schedule more big tracks.
Yeah.
And then we end up with like 6 out of the 12 tracks this season are under a mile.
Right.
And I made a joke about that. And he said 12 weeks of Langley next season. Get ready. Which sounds like a worst case scenario for me.
I'm going to stick with, I love that flat little track.
It's fun. It's even more fun when we do the demolition derby. Yeah.
Well, we plan actually hosting one for the GFM podcast at one point. We're going to mix the two and basically do a broadcast podcast at the exact same time.
All right. That sounds like a deal. Now, we'll just have to, we'll plan that one out. But the demolition derbies, they're always fun. Everybody just get together, just beat the crap out of each other because we don't want to do it on race days. I mean, I don't want to do it. I don't. I always go into my races. I never want to make contact with other people and ruin their night or my night. Ruin anybody else's night from incidental stuff. So, it's always fun to get out there and just beat the crap out of someone every once in a while.
Well, let me play devil's advocate in that manner, though. You've never, ever just had somebody that just bothered you to the point where you want to wreck them. And I'm not saying intentionally wreck, but there's an opportunity where they put themselves in a wrong situation where you guys make contact and you're like, you know what? Well, I wrecked you. Screw you, buddy.
This might have been this guy driving the 25 car, but no, never.
Probably 24 at that point.
Yes. It was.
No. Me and John's racing.
I learned that he was racing with an Xbox controller. I said, "Oh, that explains everything." so it's fine.
And it was my fault because it took my AccuForce like 12 weeks to get here or something astronomical amount of time, and then Larry's over here biting the chomps because I was selling him my old wheel winners that came in,
which is actually in my closet. It's terrible. Hey, look, more cat. Dude, we are animal lovers here on this podcast.
This cat.
I was gonna say, I wonder where Nick's dog is because I miss his appearances.
Now, this is
It's a
Nick.
she.
This is my boy.
And she is sleeping on my wife.
Hi, how you doing, buddy? Okay.
I got
Fighting
That's my buddy
because we're
Nick.
trying to keep this PG.
No, it's okay.
That's it.
The
Wait,
dog,
wait,
the
wait,
dog
wait.
sleeps with my wife.
Your
more
cat's
than I
name's
do.
Nick?
Okay.
My cat's
Where's
name is
Randy
Nick.
at when we need him?
Now,
Nick.
the backstory to Nick is when he was first brought to the shelter that we got him from, they thought he was a girl. So his
Hey,
name
that's
was
funny.
Nicole.
My parents got me from a shelter too.
Yeah. Well,
Coincidences.
well, I'll go back to my end. I'm pretty sure I was the inspiration for Steven Spielberg for E.T. Okay. Being a twin back in 1973, born 2 months early, I spent a month in an incubator. So it looked like a science experiment, but it had a big enough head for E.T. So,
Oh man, yeah, I don't have any animals here. I have 5 dogs and a cat back in North Carolina that I can't wait to see.
yeah, I know how that goes.
So I'm ready to get back home, and you guys will see a different look here probably for at least 1 week at the podcast if my wife lets me conduct a podcast while I'm on vacation.
Bro, I'm literally down the street. You will be on the podcast. Don't worry about that.
Are we gonna have the first tandem?
Adam's going to be on the
Oh,
phone.
we will be on the same podcast. Don't worry about that.
Are you guys gonna be cuddling on a sofa while you do this?
I don't like Adam that much. I like Adam. Like we get along.
It's more of my wife letting me be on the podcast. It's not.
Yeah.
I have the ability to be on the podcast.
So-
I have like 4 computers in that house.
So really quick, the funny thing is the first time I ever met Adam at work, Adam was like, "Hey man, come here and look at this thing on fucking YouTube." And he like pulls it up. And I'm like, "What are you showing me, bro?" And he's like showing me some random race that's going on. And I'm like, I don't even care, dude.
No.
And I walked away and I went back to my seat and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, yo, these 25 Deltas are weird. And he wasn't the only 25 Delta we had received at my unit at that time.
So 25 Delta cybersecurity. That's my job in the military, FYI.
Yeah, so it was kind of
I
an
hear,
awkward situation between me and him. And then the more I just got to know about Adam, I was like, he's just into cars. So he's cool.
So Larry's in a technical field too, but he's not a nerd. I don't know why he's in this field. He is not a nerd whatsoever.
Bruh, I'm far from a nerd.
I try to tell him basic computer things, and I'm like, this is your whole entire job is basic computer things. You're supposed to be the help desk guru, and you don't know anything about the help desk.
False. Yeah. I'm very good at help desk. I'm not good on the little advanced parts. I don't really give a shit about that. But anyways, back to the story, haha. Yeah. What we were kind of talking about is...
Let me send you to India.
Say again?
Hello, help desk. Hold on, I'm going to send you to India. Teach you how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we became friends at work, and then...
He started finally following my videos on Facebook that I would be sharing how we first got AOL out there is my in-car videos that we were doing back in the day, and he was clowning me, and I challenged him to come out and beat me.
And that was
still
actually...
hasn't.
No,
Blake
actually, I have.
Blake used to sit on the end of the bed and watch me race.
See, I didn't have that luxury. It's funny because Joe. So Joe.
No, he sat on Adam's lap.
Yeah, he came over to the house one time.
That's too much information.
Nick, I will punch you in your freaking throat, buddy.
It's all right. In the comments, Justin Anderson said that you would definitely be the little spoon, Larry.
Oh God. It's okay. We found out tonight that I came from the same shelter that John's cat did.
Well, you got about the same amount of hair.
And Adam likes to sit on Larry's lap.
No, it's the opposite, buddy. He's the little spoon.
Yeah, apparently I'm the little spoon. So anyways,
let's put ourselves back on topic.
Yeah, we're going to. So real quick, so John, kind of like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So actually, the way I found AOL was because Adam had posted a video of in-car, and he was racing in one of the league races. Adam might have. I don't know if you remember that race. What track or anything like that?
No, off the top of my head, man. I don't have these memories like these guys do. I forget everything I do. I hardly keep anything in the back of my head as a bank.
Memory's the second thing to go.
But yeah, absolutely. Like, he threw it out there, and then I was like, "Yo, this is kind of cool." Like, what is this? And he was like, "Oh, this is iRacing, man. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta get here and try this, and blah blah blah." And then that got me into it, and like I said, I started racing on a controller and everything like that. But then Adam came to me and was like, "Hey, man, nobody's broadcasting a Sunday night league for us. Can you help us out?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't do anything." So we started that, and this is like literally how our
I remember the early broadcast going, God, can we get someone else up there talking?
And he probably still says that every time I'm on the broadcast with Larry.
What? No, that would have actually been me.
With Randy, you guys have been doing great.
That would have been me. That would have been me. Early broadcast was me, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you and Adam. Adam was
doing me and Randy were doing Thursday nights, and finally we asked about Sunday night if anybody would cover it. And that's when we got you involved.
And I was covering Sunday night.
But no, I mean it's turned into a.
And then you asked me to come and help you.
No.
And
the rest is history.
So, oh wait, never mind. But it's been great. It's been entertaining, and the racing product is good, so that makes it even better.
Yeah, it's been a blast to be able to be out here. Like, we say every time we're on the podcast here, you don't leave a broadcast pissed off. You can leave a race pissed off, but broadcast, I mean, for the most part, you leave it either content or happy. Content is if it's a caution fest and you just ran out of random things to say all night long.
Me and Nick last week in the truck series.
Yeah. Well, I got. Or
excuse me, me and Carl. Sorry, Carl.
I'll have to start putting together a couple more commercials here to fill some time up.
We don't have many other races that we need that.
But let's go back to
Blake with a 20-second lead. Another commercial. Yeah.
Oh, if he keeps doing this crap, that's exactly what we're going to. Not even going to lie.
But we have a road course this coming week in both series. I have a feeling that we're going to need a bit of a break.
Well, there's no cautions either, so you definitely need a break.
Local, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Local. Yeah, the only series you're going to see cautions in this week is the IVRL when we have the 2-stage breaks.
Yep. Yep.
And if the entire field piles up going into turn 1 on the first lap, they might throw a caution for that.
So I got a question for you, John. You race in all 3 series. Which one is your favorite series to race?
Honestly, it's been the TNT.
TNT.
I started back in last year, said, put me in the TNT. I mean, obviously, because I'm a veteran, they gave me the exemption to be in Cup still because a lot of the guys know how I race. They love to have a back marker. But TNT has been a blast. It's helping me get back into my racing groove. Then doing the Sportsman, that's been just a nice buffer in between to get ready to get back into the high horsepower Cup cars. But honestly, TNT for me is an absolute blast. I know at some point I won't be able to run it every year because they're going to say, "Hey, look, we got it. Get out."
Or you could just be a field feeler. I mean, we're down to 13 cars this past week, so I mean,
I've seen a lot of guys haven't been showing up, and I'm hopeful they come back. No, Larry, you can't come back. No,
Larry, we don't want another mid-pack runner.
But no, I love the TNT. I love the competition that we have right now between Closed Circuit and Endeavor, and with Cody with First Response. That's a great pack up there to race against, and I'm hopeful that the rest of the TNT can start catching on more to what we've been doing and add more complexity and competition to the race. And it's an absolute blast of the TNT as a prime example. Tom Stevens was having a bad night and he goes on to win.
Yep.
Strategy. Yeah. It's things like that. And I was absolutely elated for Tom for the win. And then I was pissed off that he was the one that was having so much problems before that, we shouldn't have been having the problems.
It just worked out, right?
That's where it worked out. And I shot myself in the foot when I killed myself on pit road.
Just like all of CCR.
Yeah, well,
stop it. I don't want to think about it anymore.
I made an awesome entry into pit road. I passed my 2 teammates because they were being cautious getting in. And I got by them getting in, but then I was like, am I going too slow? I didn't even pay attention. I tapped the gas a little bit and it shot me over the limit.
That's what I did on
26-second hold.
That's what I did on Tuesday night in Dover. Went in, I slammed on the brakes, got underneath it, and I gave it a little bit of gas, and it was too much. And then I was all she wrote.
So
no, I go back to we go with TNT in Charlotte. Everybody, like, unfortunately, Carl was the one that told me not to as we got to the end of the race, and I'm just sitting there fighting with Tim.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? If Tim wins, I'm happy with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I honestly, Tim's great to run around. He is easily one of the most gentlemanly drivers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But then Carl was just like, yeah, I'd be fine with that, but you should win. And I was just like, and Tim ended up relinquishing the position, and I was just like, no, Tim, I want to fight you. I want the fight.
At some point, you have to go, am I risking causing an incident racing you too hard? My prime example in racing, if I'm running good, I'm going to run good. But if someone's coming up on me, they definitely have a run. I'm not fighting. I'm not going to fight it. I want to race. I want to be there for the end. Tim, I will say this about Tim. Tim is one of those guys that just knows how to take care of his stuff, and he's going to be there. And you're gonna next thing you know, just like, Tim just took it easy for a while, and next thing you know, he's in your mirror.
Yeah, we hated that he wasn't there on as a broadcast person last past Thursday and having.
I missed him,
but he fixed his wheels, so he'll be back. That'll be good.
I'll see him out there on
time for the road course.
He'll be out there on Sunday though for us on the at Dover. I can't wait for it. It's a little bit more slick than what I raced on Tuesday night. I can't wait for it. It's going to provide a little bit more of a throttle controlled compared to Tuesday night.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
I really can't wait for that race. I forgot how bumpy that track was when I got out there and did my first couple of laps. I don't know, with the dynamic update and how everything went, but I mean, it went from a track that I was like, I wasn't so good at, or I didn't really look forward to. And after running like 5 laps, I was like, I can't wait for tonight. And I had a crappy qual, but I made up for it in the long run.
Yeah. Now, since he just jumped out, I'll have to send Josh $20 for not bringing up that restart where I accidentally went down to first gear and gacked up everybody.
Oh, that's not the one that would bring it up.
No, I was about to pull
okay. So we're doing
the exact same Larry treatment.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we talking about Larry treatment? What the?
Because I was about to go pee, and then somebody brings me up.
No, I'm saying there is one other person who is being quiet right now who would have a comment on.
Fair enough. That's a good one. All right. Fair enough. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it then.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's not talk about it.
Why not?
We'll stay on track. We'll stay with the cups.
I'll take it. Yeah,
No, we're talking about it.
Nope. Let's try to avoid that because, John, in all honesty, with that specific incident, we've all done it.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Yeah, well, cone of shame. I was wearing that one for a
I
while.
was upset at the time that it happened. I could give a shit about it now, but if I go back and I put myself in the moment, I'll be upset about it again. So
why would you be upset? Why would you be upset, man? You're lucky to be a top 10 car.
What are you talking about? Nick's a top 5 car every week.
Oh.
Until he puts it on the side or on the back.
I was gonna
listen. He followed the master of John Gordon with that one.
The ridiculous physics of these ARCA cars.
You want to talk ridiculous physics? Let's talk about the street stocks that were not racing because of the ridiculous. I don't know because of those cars.
You get barely bumped, and you're on your roof.
No. You'd go along, you'd slide, you'd go to a slow slide, car would almost stop and then just go, hey, all right.
That's why the Russian judges had to be present every week last year.
Damn Russian
Yes, they
judges.
did.
Yeah.
I know, man. But these ARCA cars, they're showing their own different faults. You had was it
a little
Tom
bit, yeah.
Stevens brush up against the wall on the inside and then hook it and then lost the front left tire.
Yeah.
And then
that was wild because it went straight to his hood.
Yeah.
Strangest thing I saw with the ARCA car, got loose coming out of turn 2, hit the right front and the outside wall and the left tire went out.
Yeah, it's the shock absorption. You know, it just pushes it to the other side. That's how it is.
You know, it's like, okay, that's
And,
great.
It's kind of like a safer barrier.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, here's the way I got to look at it, and it's maybe not the right way, but if you didn't hit the wall, you wouldn't have issues, right? So, like, just
I'm gonna go ahead and take my break and not bring up the Larry line.
You don't have enough bottles there?
Well, hold on. If we're gonna talk about the Larry line, it was a dirt course, okay, guys. Thanks.
But so I think the only time I've made that mistake of being first was probably, I think it was at Talladega. I was leading, and I forgot who was on my outside, but they looked like they were about to jump me. So I was more concerned about them not paying attention to me and trying to go. And by the time I hit the gas, I was still in fourth in my coasting gear, and I hit the gas and we weren't going anywhere. Blake was behind me. He was pissed off because that line was not going anywhere. I downshifted really quickly. I stacked the whole entire field up. I felt like a dumbass for being that person that was out there on the track. But you live and you learn.
It happens.
I'll never do that again.
Yeah. And, you know, even to the point for what Dave was talking about earlier about getting nervous. I still get nervous. I mean,
oh yeah, man, you get in the traffic, especially like it's not really in the back traffic. It's more up front with the the faster guys. When I get up near them, I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy. Don't want to be that guy. I'm nervous.
Yep.
And I felt comfortable on Tuesday though because my car was fast and being up there, and I didn't have a problem. There's those tracks like last week at Darlington. You know, after my Tuesday night, I was abysmal there, but Sunday night, for some reason, it clicked with me, and I was riding up front. But, it's those sketchy corners going into turn 1, those slides up, and you don't want to be that guy, So every restart, I was like, please, God, let's get single file before going into turn 1.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you don't get nervous sometimes, then you've been doing it too long. And you want to be nervous for the right reasons, not because you're afraid to race someone or be near someone because you're not sure what they're going to do. But I'll get into situations that, even prime example, going back to the race that Carl and Josh hate, when I was leading at Five Flags, I mean, I was nervous because I knew as the run got longer and if it stayed green, I might have gotten beaten by Josh or Carl because, at that point, who knows? I might have worn my tires out more than they would have.
More Carl. Carl is way better than I am on long runs.
Well, I mean, even like last night, I was great for the short run because I know how to beat the crap out of my right side tires.
Yeah.
It's something I know I need to get better at because even at Iowa, I ran my race. I tried to conserve my tires, but I got just too tight at one point and tagged the wall hard enough to wear the tire out even more. And my tire blew with like 2 laps to go. It's putting in that extra time to work on getting that car into the corner, to get it to rotate, to not to wear out the right front tire. It's something I've been having to work on, for years. I still haven't mastered that. So, I still have moments where I'll ask, Blake or Johnny or Brandon, hey, what are you guys doing in this turn? Just try to pick their brain. If they're doing something different, where are they lifting? How are they, what's the ratio on the steering wheel? How much are they turning in? When are they turning in? It's all in that practice and picking brains of everybody. So, even for that point, for everybody in the league that might struggle, ask because someone's going to help you. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I look at VRS as being the key to join the AOL group because, well, you got Blake out there who posts every single lap he does, and I'll be honest, last season with the TNT, the fact that he ran every single track, put down a hot lap, and I was just like, okay, that's the lap I need to beat. This is how he did it. And then I would run a few laps, post it, see where I was, and
you go, how the heck did he do that?
Dude, Josh was hitting me up last week right before the Kansas race with a next gen car, and he's like, "Man, I got to figure out how to beat your lap." And I was like, "Dude, I only ran like 2 hot laps. I was just trying to see what this car could do." And then he's like, "Granted, I was only off by 1/1000th of a second, but he's like, I got to beat you." I was like, "You're off by 1/1000th of a second, dude. Calm down."
As many of the veterans, especially Joe, would say, it's one thing to run a hot lap. It's another to put together a string of laps.
And that's
we won't talk about Kansas after the podcast last week.
That's a factual statement, though. And you know, what's funny is
how do you know you weren't there?
No, I'm just saying that, like exactly like Blake just said. He said VRS is his team's secret weapon. I mean, that is what's being used. It's what's teaching I'll have to
people. Use it. I'm actually, I'm on the team VRS and everything else, but half the time I don't pull it up to look and compare. I'll look for lap files and load them into iRacing and chase the ghost car. But that's a great tool. You ask for someone's best lap file, throw it in there, load it up, chase the car. For me, it's visual. I want to be chasing something. Yeah. I'm not looking for the number. I'm not looking for the green on the delta. I want to chase something because if I can run that line and stay with it, I know I'll be all right.
And I mean, I think that's teaches their own, right? Like,
sure.
When you think about it, I mean, I grew up racing motocross, so the way we run to the way everybody runs cars, the way you're going to run a car, period, is completely different. We don't this whole thing of breaking early and then coming through, it's foreign.
Yeah.
We break late, we slide it up, get back in that freaking throttle, and we're out. We're gone.
Yeah. Prime examples is our 2 new teammates at Endeavor, Sean and Blake. They're dirt bike guys.
Exactly. It's a weird
when Blake,
thing.
You missed out last week, man. Sean was, Blake Pasta was here talking about his dirt bike days, man. We're like, man, where's Larry at? This has been his prime candidate to talk to.
You gotta remember when they started, they didn't know what the lucky dog meant. They didn't know.
Well, I knew
pit
all
road
that
procedures. They're asking, oh, what, really? Yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
And even even Blake brought it up when he was on the podcast. That, when he was out there and it was 20 laps to go, he had never pit to change tires. I said, you got track position, stay out.
Exactly.
Stay out. You're good. He's like, I don't know. I said, you're good. Stay out. Still coaching them and giving them a little bits of advice, but I don't need to give them a whole lot of advice because they're still slinging it faster than I am. Now Blake has to still learn more of car control to not wear his stuff out as much as Sean does. And I don't know how Sean's doing it. This guy shows up with 20 seconds left in practice, shoving a piece of pizza in his face, jumping in qualifying, and then he'll start. If he has a bad qualifying, he's going to be in the front by halfway.
Well, and see, that's the issue, right? So I'm not going to say I can come out here and run Josh, Blake, freaking Carl, Nick laps, right? Like, I'm not going to say that I can come out here and play with these guys, but I'm going to tell you that I can go out there and I can put the car sideways. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you that if I wanted to run it like if I was running motocross, I'm going to brake late. Once I hit that apex of that corner to me, I'm going to be on that throttle and I'm going to be full throttle. And my car is going to come out sideways, right? So I kind of already can guess the way it's going to go, but when it comes to Blake and Endeavor, where do you guys find this extra little time?
Well, in the case of Blake, and probably Johnny, it's well, not so much Johnny because Johnny got into this last year, 2 or 3 laps or races into the TNT season. It's practice and just Dale Jr. was just on the I Am Athlete podcast with Brandon Marshall and them, and he talked about certain people, they just have the it factor. They can figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's
goes
a combination of things.
Yeah.
I think in cases of like Sean Carmody, he's got that it factor. He picked it up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Ziti is, him and Sean have been friends for a very long time. Raced dirt bikes against each other, everything. So he loves competing against Sean. And he just loves these guys, they run our league races, and then literally as soon as they jump out, if they don't have to jump in the booth, they're finding the next race on iRacing to go race at.
Right.
So they're putting in time on all sorts of tracks, GTE, everything. They're running all sorts of different cars. So they're getting exposure to all sorts of different racing techniques and styles, which I think just helps them further along to develop that consistent style they need to race in ARCA or in, right now for them, the Sportsman trucks, before eventually they will be in Cup. I have no doubt about that.
Well, for sure. We're always going to see the same crop. Well, I don't want to say the same crop. That's a terrible way of putting it. But we're always going to see a crop coming up, right?
We hope so, yeah.
That's the aspect of developmental.
Yeah.
So at what point do we cap it? Like you said, Blake Ziti.
Oh.
Do we cap it at Blake Ziti? Carl Henderson? Josh Laston? Where do we cut it off at?
I don't know that you do. Yeah.
Anybody got a little?
Yeah, I'd be happy if they, I'm gonna have to move Josh up and let me have a chance at a trophy. Because I'm in second for the year right now. Move up Josh, Sean Carmody.
Well, you're not in second in the year, but yeah, sure.
I'm in second for the year. Yeah. Yeah, Josh has the points.
Okay.
For the whole year.
I'll look at it one more time, but okay.
No, for the full year, for both.
Oh,
seasons.
full year.
Not just
Full year. Okay.
Yeah, not season 2.
Okay, I apologize for that. I will
okay. We know how to do it,
apologize for that.
Yeah, that's all right. No, but obviously, we looked at situations like with Mr. Hayes, obviously coming in. He was a sporadic racer with us in previous seasons. He comes in and he just absolutely decimates for two races. In my opinion, very talented racer, needs to find some humility.
I agree with that.
But talented.
Mm-hmm.
Too talented for a developmental league.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the promotion out of the TNT was the right call.
Yeah.
Josh has just been winning everything. So yeah, he's got to go.
I just want the turtle lamp. That's all I want.
Yeah, me too, man.
This
you were too good too early.
This thing, it's been with me since '97. So yeah, I cherish it. But if you show consistency, if you show good racecraft, obviously the results are going to speak for themselves. I'm not an admin to say this is the criteria, but obviously if you're winning races, you deserve to be promoted out.
No, I agree with that.
I love racing in the TNT so much. I would love to constantly run it. Because I'm not, by no means am I the fastest guy. I'm not going to win every week. But at some point when you start moving people out, obviously there's going to be some sort of step, but I also am hopeful to see the progression of everybody that's back there. Anthony Cirillo.
Oh, fucking huge.
First came in first night when he first came in, rubbed me the wrong way.
Everybody.
He was all over the place. He put me in the wall. He
Everybody.
got me upset enough that I told him, said, next time you do that, you're not going to make it to the next turn.
Yep.
I got pissed off with him, and I shouldn't have done it. I usually don't do stuff like that, but he came in and rubbed everybody the wrong way. Now understanding that he didn't have the video card set right, he was getting 20 frames a second, all sorts of different things that were hampering him from finding that early success and consistency of developing into a solid racer in the league. He's made huge strides, but he still hasn't been able to put it all together yet. Okay. But if he keeps at it, he will. I don't have any doubt about that. I think he's got the skill. He's going to do it. He's made huge progress.
Massive.
Tom Stevens shows flashes of brilliance, but then he has some instances where it's, things happen, and sometimes he gets caught up in some dumb stuff. I'd love to see more consistency and more success for Tom, because he's been doing great. Even David DeParis, I would love to see him develop even more.
Mm-hmm. David's, he's shown improvement over the races that he's been there. He just needs to get that consistency factor that's underneath him.
I'll watch back the replays, and I'll watch the broadcast after the race, and and I see how certain people drive, and I will say, there's still some guys out there that have to practice a little bit more awareness to be able to have the luck and consistency they need.
Yeah.
Look at David. I see that. I know David's putting the time in, and he's got the new load cell pedals, and he's getting used to those. He's gonna start developing more consistency and getting up there. He'll get there. I have no doubt about that. Gary Winters came in, and it looked like he was going to do well. Again, it's. I love the TNT because it is the league for development, and these guys have been showing development. And all as I can do as a vet is say to them, say, you want help, ask. All you got to do is ask. I'll tell you everything I'm doing. You want to know what steering ratio I'm running? I'll tell you.
What?
You want to know where I'm lifting? I'll tell you.
And we kind of harped on that earlier, especially with DW Wright. But so what I want to bring it to is this, and kind of a final point. Your boy's sitting out, all right? Your boy. He's sitting out these next few races. We're going to COTA.
Well, not sitting out. He's going to be away because he won't be able to be racing.
Well,
he's taking a nice vacation.
We're going to talk
it's
about
not like the first two
races.
Vacation
from racing.
It's not the first two races of this season now. It's different circumstance.
He is what he is. He's earned his respect and his title the way he is. But what do you got coming into this week? In Cup. Who's winning Cup this week from you?
This is Dover, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have to say I'm leaning towards Justin, of course, because him and Blake have always been up there in top two. But my fallback positions would be Steve Goschalk and Dan Shirley. They've always been up there consistently.
Okay. Let's hear it, Mr. Bald Man.
Which one? The one next to
the one's muted.
Yep, that's me.
In the red.
The one with half a carpet on top of his head.
So we said that Blake's out, right?
Yeah, Blake's out.
And
Blake's out for this week.
This is
So
a
you
series.
can't have your man love with Blake.
Joe is like 90% out.
So this is Cup Series at Dover, correct?
Right.
Yes, yes. This is where we're going right now.
All right, I am going Steve Gottschalk. He finished third in the race last year.
Oh.
Gottschalk is I'm going with.
Okay.
I'm going with our previous guest, Andrew Burgess.
I like that. I like Andrew.
Good pick.
I just because I'm gonna put the pressure on him because we talk to him every friggin' week. Mr. Dan Shirley.
Dude, first off, I gotta hate you guys. Like, how
Why?
am
Because
I...
we didn't.
No, not you, John. Not you, John.
No, that's fine.
I like you, John. How
like
are
it too,
my
man.
own teammates not going to pick my guy Josh Hanner? Hanner easily for the win. Hanner easily for the win.
Show partiality.
Kiss it.
Right.
Kiss it.
Also, he doesn't like this track.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. Hanner for the win. He's 3 in a row. Hanner for the win. Go, Nick. Go, Nick. Haters on the team.
Jesus.
God.
Larry, what are you drinking? Are you drinking a Raise or are you drinking alcohol?
I'm drinking freaking beer, but it bothers me
He
that
is
they
like
can't even.
12 deep. Just let him go.
He's not wrong.
Why does Blake have to take the next 2 weeks off? I picked Blake this week.
Blake is going to be in Charlotte for a vacation.
Oh, is he really going to be in Charlotte?
Yeah.
What?
Hey, Blake, I want you to send me a message. We need to get together.
I'm like an hour and 15 minutes away from Charlotte.
No, he's not.
You know what?
He's in Columbia, South Carolina. Otherwise, we
I'm
would
really
see each other.
disappointed in all
Like an hour
5
and a half,
of you above
then.
me.
I'm
Adam, have you
3
picked
hours away from Charlotte, North Carolina.
He's closer to you than to Charlotte, man.
How?
Columbia, South Carolina is only about an hour and a half away. Charlotte is about a 2-hour drive.
Okay, well, Blake, get a hold of us. We're going to come see you for dinner one night.
Hey, Larry, I'm just up here in Chesapeake, so it's just down 17 to get down to you.
Where the hell is Chesapeake?
Virginia.
Go north.
Can we get back on track for just like 2 seconds?
Oh, you want to do your pick now?
Yes, I figured out who I'm going to pick. I'm actually disappointed. Adam, have you picked yet?
Yeah, no, brother,
I'm disappointed in all 5 of
you're
you.
it. You're it. You're
I'm
it.
legitimately disappointed in all 5 of you. Not a single one of you said Joe Dinsmore.
He's not going to be there.
Going to be there.
Okay, well then that makes
Us 5
sense.
guys have
then.
been paying attention to who's
Yeah,
going to be there and running.
I made the statement said there's a 90% plus chance that Joe Dinsmore will not make the race. He has a really, really long drive ahead of him on
Joe.
Sunday.
He's a former teammate of mine,
So
but
with the
I knew he
10%,
wasn't going to be there.
the 10% chance that Joe gets there, Joe wins. But if Joe doesn't show up, it's Hanner.
That's all I'm talking about, Hanner.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it now. It's Anderson's race.
I won't argue with that, but I'm sorry. Dan has been up there. He's
Yes.
he's just been so close, and with one major piece of competition out of the way, it's a great chance for him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I mean, we look forward to this coming up week. We're looking at obviously IVRL. Nick, what you calling IVRL, man? When you guys go live?
We already went through that one.
6:50
Talking
p.m.
about calling on live. Listen.
6:50 p.m. right here on Ghostfire Media at Coda this week. So me and Randy Pepper will have. You'll hear a lot of stories from me and Randy. You'll hear all my stories about why all 20 turns at Coda are very interesting. How the track actually became a thing and why it has its weird shape in Sector 3. And whatever story Randy Pepper wants to tell about whichever celebrity he... Shut up, Carl! I had a moment! I'm not Larry!
And then...
Anyhow, I said 10 words in this entire podcast, and one of them was me having some sort of problem.
No, you're good, man. That was
one
good.
That Randy Pepper makes the decision to...
He'll be there.
To, whatever celebrity he talked to this week.
Or his previous girlfriends. The status is
Hey, no. We already talked about how loose one was. We already talked about how he everybody
about setups, Dan.
So, there's I can't let him talk about any more of his girlfriends.
So real quick, that was Tuesday night. That's IVRL, man. We're looking at about 7 p.m. Eastern time. Where we can't say standard because I get yelled at about that. And
it's Eastern Standard Time. That's what it is.
No, I got yelled at about that. I'm not allowed to say standard. So, Eastern time zone. And then we're looking at Wednesday night. We're going to talk trucks. AOLL Truck Series. It'll be me, Carl, on the call. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be on the call.
Eastern Savings Time, if you want to go that way.
Why, when I try to be right,
It is Eastern Standard Time. You are correct.
All right, well, let's go on the Thursday night.
Thursday night, we're gonna talk freaking. We will be here for the for the TNT series Thursday Night Turtles. It's gonna be myself, Adam, and possibly Randy. I don't know. I don't know if
Randy is a popular man. He is out there
really
doing some gigs.
He really is
this week.
So hopefully we have Randy. If we don't have Randy, then it'll be myself and Adam. And we're going to be here for the Thursday Night Turtles on the call. Podcast again on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. Y'all screw me up with this. and then again for the Cup Series on Sunday nights, man. Anybody else got anything else better for the group?
I like the fact that the next race is the one that you do last.
Yes.
we have the AOL Cup Series this Sunday at 8 p.m. We're going to be at Dover. Me and Carl on the call, and it's going to be a great time because I'm looking forward to dealing with that wonderful bridge that covers the entry to 3.
Look, it even says EST on the comments.
Eastern
but it's not
Standard Time.
Thank you.
But it's not standard time.
It is
savings.
It's Eastern Standard Time.
I'm drunk.
Sorry.
Not as drunk as Larry, but I'm drunk.
No,
PST
because like they've
is-
been told I
so-
can't say Eastern
just so you
Standard
know,
Time.
PST is Pacific Standard Time, EST is Eastern Standard Time, and CST is Central Standard Time.
And don't forget MST.
Mountain Standard Time.
What's GMT?
Yeah. So wait, just to be clear,
Time.
There you go.
Just be clear. We are in EDT right now. I just looked it up on Wikipedia.
It's
we are in
EDT
Eastern
or
Daylight
EST.
How are you
Time.
looking that shit up on Wikipedia? Wikipedia
Eastern
is not.
I can
Standard
change that
Time
right now. I can
is
change it
in
right
the
quick.
Autumn and winter. We are
Send me the
not
link,
in
I'll
Eastern
change it.
Standard Time.
Wikipedia is such a bad freaking. You know what? All right, we're done. We are
Things have gone
done.
downhill when
Hey,
you stop talking about race and you start talking about time.
That's what happens to
And
us.
time goes by.
Hey, we're out of
Especially when
time.
Larry's drunk.
Sorry, rest of the
No, what
GFM
does
will
always
not-
come down to me? Hey, first off, this was a wonderful freaking podcast. We had a lot of fun tonight, and we hope you guys had a lot of fun tonight. And we're gonna get back to everything. Like I said, we're gonna talk IVRL. We're going Nick, give it a shout out. IVRL Tuesday nights. Nick,
It's deja vu.
He's thinking.
We already did this. I don't have anything else to say about it.
just give me the time. Jesus Christ.
We literally did this about 3 minutes ago.
I'm tracking.
6:50 p.m.
Thank
Oh,
you.
man. The viewers on Spotify are going to have a blast with this one.
They're gonna be like,
I
"Why
can only
is it
hope. Hey, Wednesday, we're talking 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am saying Standard Time for the truck race. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday for the freaking TNT race, and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for everybody here from GFM. I hope you guys had a good night, man. We've had a lot of fun, and we will continue to have a lot of fun. Good night tonight from the Ghostfire Media crew.
Good night, guys.
Good night.